huge game in Sunday Night Football. Real big game for the Bengals, especially, but also for the Chargers if they want to cement themselves as in the upper echelon in the AFC. As I said, it's the Cincinnati Bengals going to LA and SoFi Stadium to play Jim Harbaugh's, the Charbaws out there in the Los Angeles, the LA Chargers. And just, a team that has come. Yeah, you like that? The Charbaws. I didn't see it anywhere. But they're a team that has completely, absorbed the identity of their head coach, playing smash mouth football. The defense plays hard. It's what you expected from Harbaugh to implement year one, committed to running the ball. And this is a team that is just, built to win. That's what they want to do is they're not going to be flashy with it. They're going to find a way to win, and they're going to do it by playing tough, hard-nosed football. And they're facing a team in the Bengals that has had, offensive production, for maybe the most offensive production I've ever seen out of a team that only has 4 wins through 10 games. It's got to be extremely frustrating if you're a Bengals fan to see Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have this type of year and still not see the wins manifested on the schedule. But this is going to be a tough game to pick because, as I said, the offensive potential of the Bengals going up against, seemingly one of the most steady defensive-oriented teams in the Chargers. It's going to be an interesting matchup. Christian, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely spot on about everything. I feel like this is truly a testament into completely different philosophies, football philosophies. And again, I think for the last couple of years, the fatal flaw, the Achilles heel for the Cincinnati Bengals team has been their offensive line. I think they're going to continue to be that Achilles heel until they figure out or find some sort of stalwart on that line. And I think this is going to be a game where the front four of the Chargers is going to really dominate the offensive line for Cincinnati. And I think if they're able to stop the run, if they're able to limit play action or anything of that nature, Cincinnati becomes sort of a one-trick pony. Now, Jamar Chase is going crazy, but I think we talked about it at the beginning of the year. Cincinnati effectively paid $21 million to see what life is going to look like without T. Higgins going forward. And I think this is 100% on management. I feel terrible for Zach Taylor, but it's going to come back biting Cincinnati in the butt again. Another one of these examples of these prehistoric organizations that are, treating their organization like a mom and pop shop in a $1 billion industry. And you're seeing it come to fruition now. And I think the Chargers know how a team is built, know how you're supposed to properly construct a roster from the inside out. And I think you're going to see basically the battle between two philosophies. And I think the Chargers are going to win because of it.
Yeah, that's a great point, Christian. I was just thinking that same thing. Whatever you think happens, who wins this game, it's a matter of which philosophy you think is going to lead to the best path of victory. And what I love about the Chargers in this spot is the way that they run the football. That Jim Harbaugh is dreaming of keeping Joe Burrow on that sideline and limiting for, the amount of possessions that Bengals offense can touch the ball. And I could easily see that being the path to a Chargers victory, just based off of the lack of defense that it seems like Cincinnati is kind of falling back to. They had a nice little bump when they got their guys back on the defensive line, and it kind of seems like they've started to get exposed again. And if the Chargers can run the football, you limit those amount of possessions that Joe Burrow can go out there and do damage. Look, the Chargers could easily come away with a win here. And I don't know if you guys saw the story about Justin Herbert said that the reason why he didn't fumble that QB sneak was because Harbaugh went to Home Depot and bought bricks for all the players to carry and practice their grip strength. That just epitomizes the Chargers team. They're carrying bricks and they play like a bunch of bricks. They play smash mouth football, and I think they'll be able to execute their game plan on Sunday night, keep Joe Burrow off the field, shorten the game, and quite frankly, I think that they're a better football team right now than the Cincinnati Bengals are. And I feel terrible for the Bengals just because their offense has been playing lights out. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow are as good as ever. But that team, like you mentioned, Christian, the roster construction, um, it kind of seems like it's on its last legs other than those top heavy guys. Their window is closing rapidly. And the NFL stands for not for long. And doesn't mean Joe Burrow is going to be a bad quarterback because he's not. Doesn't mean Jamar Chase is going to be a superstar because he is. But that team as a whole, it just feels like there's a lot. They're kind of taking on water a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Burrow's
with that handicap,
24.5% of the roster cap, Joe Burrow.
yeah. With that handicap, the total's at 46.5. And if you think the Chargers are going to run the football and control the game and, probably win this game 23 to 20, 23 to 17 in that sort of aspect, the under 46.5 and the Chargers I think are extremely correlated. And just want to give one shout out to our guy, Quentin Johnston. Another touchdown last weekend. So, or last game. So Quentin Johnston, perhaps a revival, maybe worth the 21st overall pick.
Now
We'll see.
someone can actually scheme route concepts.
For Quentin Johnston, correct.
Yeah.
It's crazy to see him. He's been in and out. I think he's like had a up and down year a little bit. He was hurt, he was banged up, but at least he's doing something out there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, I think the story of this game is just you've got a balanced team in the Chargers versus a totally imbalanced team in the Bengals with the way they're built and the way they're structured. And Bengals are going to be able to put up a lot of points, but their offense is reliant on, the way they put up a lot of points is when they can protect Joe Burrow. And if this Chargers defense is able to get home and be able to speed up Joe Burrow's clock, I just trust a team that can run the ball and a team that can keep Joe Burrow off the field to be able to control this game. And, it's the difference in having Harbaugh as your head coach, being able to, count on your team to do what it takes to win in games like this, in huge games.
if the Bengals want to win, they have to get out. They have to get out fast. They have to get up
Yeah.
by a touchdown or more within the first quarter, I think. So, I mean, if either of you guys see an angle into maybe liking Cincinnati, like you could, or any of our listeners maybe like Cincinnati, get after them in the first quarter, get after them in the first half. I mean, that would be the avenue to where I see them winning this football
Jamar,
game.
multiple touchdowns.
Yeah.
Right.
They have to get up. They have to turn the imbalance back to the Chargers and make the Chargers one dimensional and make the Chargers throw the football.
Well, shout out to
I
the
think win this game.
shout out to the Chargers defense. I mean, 2 points per possession when they've played both the Chiefs and the Cardinals. I mean, the defense has really stepped up, and I think that's a testament to Harbaugh, and just kind of his philosophy for coaching this team. But Justin Herbert's looked great. The past 3 weeks. I mean, he's been playing his butt off. I like the over in this game just because I think I honestly I think it comes down to the struggles on the defensive side of the ball for Cincinnati. I think LA is still going to be able to put up their points through the air and on the ground, and I think the Bengals are going to be able to move the ball and get their playmakers involved. As always, I think Jamar Chase would be a safe bet to score in this one. Probably Chase Brown as well, if they're able to get it into the red zone. But I like the over with the Chargers kind of taking control of the game, and maybe just even limiting the opportunities for Joe Burrow to even be on the field. John Harbaugh has actually played really good in terms of possessing the ball this year for the offense. So, we'll see. I like the over for it, but I think at the end of the day, Chargers squeak it out, and then there's so many question marks if the Bengals lose this one as to where you go from here, and especially with who you're paying and how much, because the roster construction is just not coming to fruition for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've said all that needs to be said on what could be a doomed Bengals team, even considering all the weapons that they have. You show that Ryan Poles, take notes. You can't build a team
Football
from
is
the
a
outside
team.
in. Yeah,
Football is a team sport, the ultimate team
right.
sport.